What's up guys, welcome back to Crossful TCG, and today I'm going to be talking about my Soul Striker Goku deck that I've been working on since Bandai announced that SS3 was getting banned. So a quick overview of the deck. It looks pretty similar to the blue-green control decks that we've been seeing. I think this is a pretty solid starting off point to move back towards into blue-green SS3. Since set 2 though, we have gotten a lot of new tools for this deck like Combo Killer and Kami's Power. So without further ado, I'm going to jump straight into it. Starting off the list, we have 2 Scientist Foos. This card is pretty strong, has the potential to swing games, and because this deck is a blue-green control deck, it suffers when you get Chain Xeno'd. So being able to draw 2 cards and put more pressure on after that happens is very strong, so that's why I opted to play it as the only black card in the deck. Moving on, we have Energy Boosted Majin Buu, just your 1-drop, easy blue energy, easy draw card. Not too much needs to be said about this guy. Next, a little bit more of the defensive cards that we have. We have 4 Senzu Bean. This card's great right now. Amazing in any Storm matchup, allows you to survive more attacks, especially in the early game. Make it to the late game, have bigger pushes on certain turns. And then also to go with that, we have 3 copies of Whis' Coercion. Now this card is pretty strong. I haven't tested yet with the new card that Bandai announced, new blue card from set 5. That's just amazingly broken. Especially I think it'll be pretty strong in this deck. We'll see a little tweaks though. It'll probably be more focused on a mono blue build if we play that card. But 3 Whis is good for now. It does what you need it to do. Untaps an energy, so what you can do on your turn, if you don't have a bean, you can negate an attack and then restand a green if the only card you have left in your hand is the King Vegeta surprise attack, so that you have the green energy to be able to blow up whatever your opponent's attacking with. Moving on, 4 Boost Attack Piccolo, super combo of choice, and then 2 Mafuba. This card's a tech option that I have in the deck right now. It's very strong against cards that have barrier. It's very strong against the Storm decks, being able to stop them from being able to all-in push you. And the way that this deck operates, you won't tap out. It's very easy to leave 2 blue up, and then we also have Senzu Bean to restand additional blue energy if we need it. So this card's really clutch, turns things off, and allows you to actually play the game and set up your kill board while your opponent kind of sits there. And going along with the idea that we don't really tap out, we have 4 Raging Spirits on Gohan. Card's really good, combos into play, 15k battle card that's able to put pressure on your opponent starting from turn 1. And if they're playing a very aggressive deck where they're going to be taking their own life anyways, like Storm does, then it's very good. And just really, if this is one of the cards in the deck that allow you to put pressure on really early if you need to. Moving on, 3 Oath's Power Tapion. This card is just a fantastic awakening card. Allows you to put a card back on your opponent's deck to blank their turn and to take 2 life. So it's really strong. I don't think too much needs to be said. You could also conversely play the Sidra that came out in the Ultimate Box instead of this Tapion, but I opted to go for the Tapion just because it's 2 cards instead of 1. Moving on, we have the 4 Awe-Inspiring Intimidators, SS Blue Vegeta. This card's amazing. We're starting to see a lot of cards out of set 5 that have more effects like this, but we're also going to see more counters like that Kami's Power, or the Kami that blows up the whole board. But I think if you're able to recognize that and manage your board, you'll be able to stick stuff okay. And then this card's just great. You get to 5 energy a lot in this deck because it's very defensive, so getting his draw effect is really consistent. Just playing Protect the Castle with something that's 5k more than your leader is really strong and a lot easier to do. Moving on to the green, we play 4 Newfound Power Son Gohan. This card's good. An Awakening card, early Awakening. If it's green energy, if you need it to be green energy, really does a lot. Denies advantage, just a really super solid card. And then 3 King Vegeta Surprise Attack. The numbers on this are kind of shaky for me. I don't know if it'll make the cut in future builds of this deck if we focus more on the blue energy untapping with that other negate, but for now I like it a lot. It helps you preserve a lot of your early game advantage on the board. It helps you preserve your late game stuff, and really it's just a pain to deal with when you basically give something plus 10k revenge for the rest of the turn, so it's a really solid card. Moving on, another green consistency card, Nail the Namekian Ace, allows you to put pressure on every single turn. If you put a Buu on your first turn, Nail the second turn. You're swinging, you're drawing cards, you're doing what you need to do to progress your game state, draw more cards. So he's really cool. I like him a lot, and I'm playing it at 4 because there's not a ton of really strong green cards, and I think that this is one of the strongest. So there's going to be times when you want his energy, there's going to be times when you want to just play him, so he's good either way. And then continuing on, we have Kami Power Piccolo. This card's fantastic as well. Barrier, and every turn you just blow up a card on your opponent's board. Really good for just clearing through stuff and making it difficult for your opponents to establish anything that's non-barrier threats. So really cool card overall. And then Combo Killer Anilaza. This card's just dumb. Honestly, it's really hard for your opponent to keep advantage when you're playing with this Kai on the board, especially if you have multiples, because every time you swing, they have to think about whether or not they want to just drop crazy amounts of cards into it in order to stop it, and most of the time it's not really worth it. So this will allow you to get more hits off with your opponent taking awkward numbers. So it's really good for card advantage control on your opponent's side of the board. And then the final card in the list, this is a throwback to the old school days of blue-green Soul Striker. We have Super Saiyan Gotenks. I like this card a lot just because it's when you play this card, choose up to 2 of your energy, switch them to active mode, draw a card. So if you're on a turn when you don't really want to completely tap out, you want to leave a lot of energy up because you think your opponent's going to be swinging for the next turn, this is essentially a 3-drop. And then with your leader swing, bringing you back up to 4 energy on turn 5, it's just super solid. I really like the card a lot. I don't know if it's the best card, but I like the nostalgia. I like what he does. And if you're able to establish a bunch of them on the board, then he's really good because you keep putting them on the board, you keep not tapping out, you keep waiting, and they have to chain Zeno you or something to that extent to just get rid of your stuff. He's 25k, so the Goku Oob combo doesn't remove him from the board. So just everything in this deck is super difficult to remove, and it's really cool. Overall, I like this deck a lot. I like the way that it's situated right now, especially with decks like Announcer being a little bit slower. The biggest flaw that I can see is that it doesn't draw an insane amount of cards. It doesn't maintain its advantage super well when it comes to cards that you're drawing. It does get rid of your opponent's advantage pretty easily. Other than that, I think it's really cool. It's a little bit cancerous. It's when you're staring down like multiple Vegetos, you're just like, I can't kill one of these things. How am I going to deal with multiples? And it can be very frustrating if you're not playing a red deck that has the ability to access Chain Zeno. So overall, really solid, really cool. I really enjoyed this deck. I really enjoyed playing this deck. And it's a little bit, like I said, a new version of the blue-green Soul Striker, although it's taken a little bit of a turn for the worse in terms of just becoming more protect the castle rather than advantage control. Other than that, not too much to say. I mean, tell me what you guys think about this deck in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, give us a like, and this has been Logan here with Crossworld TCG, and I hope to see you guys here next time.